Class, we are on 4.7. Who, whom, whose, and who. We will talk about each one of them. Okay, first of all, just a reminder, when we make questions, we make answers, we always will focus on subject, subject, verb, object. Okay, so this is the way a sentence is written. Subject, verb, object. We use who to ask a question about the subject. We use who or whom to ask, it's not a very pretty word, ask there, to ask about the object. Remember, when we're asking about the object, we will use do or does. Okay? When we asked about the object, we will use do or does in the question. Whom is a very formal word. Almost all the time, we do not use whom. Sometimes you will see it in writing, but people don't speak, and most of us don't write with that word. But who will use do and does because it's about the object. Who will be, who can be used in the subject of a question. Whose is a contraction of who is. Who's your boyfriend? It's the same as saying who is your boyfriend. Okay? So remember, who is for subject, who with do or does is for the object, and whose is a contraction for who is. I talk about whom, but we will not use it. Maybe the book will ask, but yeah, it's not that important. Okay, let's go. Okay, on 4.7, we're going to talk about who, whom, whose, or whose. These are said the same, whose and whose. First, we've talked about, and we will continue to talk about subject, verb, object. Okay, this is the basic sentence. We have our subject, verb, then object. When a question is written and you are talking about the subject, who, whose, who, let me see. Who are you going to the store with? Who are you going to the store with? I want to know who, the subject. Who are you going to the store with? Right? If I want to know who, the answer would be Sam. Who are you going to the movies with? Sarah. Okay? When they ask you who and it's about the subject, the answer can have do or does. The question does not have do or does, right? So who. The other one is who about the object. Here's the object. The question, when they're talking about the object, the question will have do or does. The answer must be a complete sentence, and it does not have do or does. Whom is a very formal way of saying who. Whose means who is. Who's your friend? Who is your friend? Whose is ownership. Ownership or relationship. Whose bike is this? Whose bike is this? Ownership. My friends. Okay, we will practice this in exercise, our next one, 19. So if this helps, write it down. Remember, who is the subject? They're talking about who. Who is the object? Okay? Who is the object? Who has my pencil? He does. Who is in the car? They want to know subject. Who is in the car? Sam is in the car. Okay? But sometimes the answer for subject can be do or does. Who, the object, does not have do or does. And then we know informal, who is, and ownership. Whose money is on the table. So it still has a verb, right? Because if you hear it, I'm saying whose money, verb is on the table. It cannot be this whose. Who is money is on the table. So you just use two verbs. Whose money is on the table? Ownership. My money. Tom's money. Sarah's money. I don't know whose money, right? I don't know. So that one is whose money is on the table. Okay, let's practice.